Hello, this video is to serve as a presentation for my Emerging Technologies project, Virtual Reality Novel-Based Field Trips. The purpose of this project is to allow students to explore settings and locations from a class-studied novel in virtual reality. This project is envisioned in a future 6th grade language arts classroom where students have access to virtual reality head-mounted devices and powerful computers on a 1-to-1 ratio, or set up where there are a few computers in the classroom where students can explore virtual reality at a time. Over time, computer hardware performance will increase for lower costs. This will make this type of educational setting possible. A recent project called the Night Cafe by Borrowed Light Studios showed the potential for allowing students to step into artwork or mediums. This example allowed viewers to go into Vincent van Gogh's artwork in a world inspired by his artwork. Virtual reality has incredible possibilities for allowing viewers to see worlds that would otherwise be impossible. In the same way that field trips allow students to go and see profound and inspiring places, virtual reality will make them able to see the impossible. Now, this is not a perfect technology, and looking at the future, we do have to be careful with how much we implement it into the classroom, because it is not a one-stop shop replacement for all types of education, but instead could be a great way to supplement the education that students are getting. This project will use the HTC Vive virtual reality headset, Google Earth VR software, and it is inspired by James Patterson's novel, The Maximum Ride, The Angel Experiment, and will use a list of locations that the characters in this text go to. One thing to keep in mind is that Google Earth VR was released only last month, November 2016, and is still very much so under construction. A lot of the features that I hope they will implement in the future aren't there yet. For example, interior views of buildings that became very popular on Google Street Maps and pretty well known by that little orange guy you see on the right are not in the program yet. It is a purely exterior-based software. For now, if I were to implement this in the classroom, I would supplement the interiors by using the website 360 Cities. This website hosts 360-degree pictures or photospheres that allow people to see many locations around the world, and it is a user-generated website where people upload their own images to support it. Again, this is based on James Patterson's novel, and just to understand it a little bit better before getting into the footage, this novel is about a group of teenagers that are actually scientific experiments that were created using both human and avian DNA, which gave them their wings, and they also have superpowers. This is a fun novel that my students really enjoy in the classroom, and it provides a big spanning setting that covers a lot of locations in our country. So the locations the students are going to explore in this project are listed here. Death Valley, the Badwater Basin, California, Half Dome in Yosemite National Park, Kebab, Arizona, and a list of locations in New York City. The layout for this project would be for students to first use this Google document to see all of these locations and then to respond to them and give a reaction for what it would be like to see these locations and what it would be like to be these characters and what they were experiencing for the first time in their lives. The hope is that along with the other features I mentioned, the Google Earth VR would add in a way for teachers to create a trip that students could automatically go from location to location. For right now, you have to manually choose where you want to go and kind of know ahead of time where you're going. It'd be great if teachers could create a kind of curated tour that students could just hop in and move through at their own pace. At this point, I'm going to switch over to the footage within the software and from the point of view of myself using the software. Okay, welcome to Google Earth VR. To start, I want to show you the view of our entire planet. Now, I'm focusing on a purely language arts focused lesson, but this is an incredibly powerful tool for many different aspects of student education, from everything from social studies to weather. For example, looking at the Earth right now, that is a real weather update of the current clouds over our country. For science classes, I'm able to manipulate the sun's location and actually drag it and move it along its path. If I look back to the Earth, you can see the shadow moving across our country. and how it shifts into a nighttime view. This lesson is intended as a field trip for students to experience the locations of a novel understudy. The first location that we're going to look at is the Badwater Basin in California's Death Valley National Park. Using Google Earth, I am able to zoom in to locations all the way down to a very close detail. Here, I can start to see the different features of our planet, but it is still in front of me like a giant canvas or a giant wall. I'm able to switch to a tilt Earth down view, which allows me to go onto the planet's surface. After enabling a separate feature, I'm also able to go down to human-sized view. So now for the characters in our story, this is the first location on Earth that they see after escaping from an underground science laboratory. It's very symbolic for students to see just how uninviting this is, how harsh it is, how painful their journey is going to be in the future, and offers a wonderful opportunity to teach symbolism. Along with the symbolic elements of this location, students can also begin to explore character motivations and how they respond to this first problem. Now, the characters in our story are able to fly due to their mutated experiment kind of state. So the next location that they go to is a beautiful mountain where they're able to go to the top, discuss with each other a plan for the future, and they start to feel much more positive about their situation that they're in. I intentionally changed this unknown mountain to the Half Dome in Yosemite National Park to help show the extreme change in symbolism for students. So using Google Earth's features and menu navigation system, I'm now going to move to Yosemite National Park. Welcome to Yosemite National Park in the Half Dome Mountain. It is immediately clear the extreme difference in location. The fact that we arrived with the sunset really adds to the mood of the story at this point. If I wanted to change that setting, though, I could always provide a daytime view for students. I'm going to move it to the sunset again because I prefer that's effect on the story's mood. Now, the purpose of this virtual field trip is to not only show students different locations in our planet and our Earth and to get a sense of wonder and want to explore and see these places in real life, but also for them to connect to our novel on a deeper level. So by moving our location to the top of the Half Dome Mountain, students are given that exact perspective that the author was trying to go for, and as a teacher, I'm trying to help them experience for themselves. This moment in the story is crucial for our main characters because they begin to become much more optimistic. A sense of camaraderie is born in them, and they change to want to work together, and they're filled with a sense of hope. Our next location is New York City. The great part about seeing New York City in virtual reality and to be able to quickly travel from those other two locations is students are able to see just how significant the change of setting is for our main characters. This is no longer a place that is focused on nature, but more on human life. In this location, our main characters are hunting down information about their birth parents, their history, how they were created, and for more answers about the scientists that did this experiment on them. Not only do students see locations like the skyscrapers and the busy streets of New York City, but they see specific places like Times Square. So now from this view, students are able to see just how huge New York City is. One of the other key locations, Central Park, can be seen in the distance, where students will travel to next. They're also able to travel to busy locations like Times Square. Now, in a busy place like Times Square, it is easy to see the problems with the software. It's easy to point out the errors, the flaws, and the technical glitches. But the possibilities for the future and what our students are able to see, discover, and explore is very exciting. I hope you enjoyed my project and you see the power for this emerging technology and how using virtual reality could provide students with virtual field trips to explore places that would otherwise be impossible. Thank you.